This video contains the fair use of third-party content and does not violate copyright code or any of YouTube's terms of service.
So I was just watching this video from the YouTube user Courageous Media, who appears to be a Trump supporter. His video is called, "You Won't Believe What Pakman Said About Biden and Trump. What a Clown Show!" The Pakman he's talking about here is David Pakman, the political commentator. But yeah, I want to go ahead and show you a clip from the video where Courageous Media is saying some shit that's just not fucking true, and I'm going to prove that what he's saying is not fucking true.
But just so you know that we bring the receipts, let's talk about lying, shall we? Because so far, Pakman has said Trump lies, Trump lies, Trump lies, has provided no receipts. On the flip side, the actual liar in this debate was Joe Biden, and it was so bad that CNN had to fact check him. So we're gonna take a brief interlude just to give you a rundown of some of the Biden lies in this debate. This is how bad it is.
The only president in a while who didn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world. Troops have, of course, died on his watch. He said he's put in a $15 per shot cap on insulin and Medicare. It's a $35 a month cap. He said it's a $200 cap on overall drug spending in Medicare. It's $2,000 a year. He said the border now has fewer crossings than when Trump was in office. That's generally not true. He said, or at least strongly suggested, unemployment was at 15% when he took office. It was actually 6.4. He said Trump wants to get rid of Social Security. Trump doesn't. He said billionaires pay 8.2% in taxes. It's much higher. He said Trump told Americans to inject bleach amid COVID. We know Trump made foolish comments about scientists studying disinfectant injection, but didn't frame it as advice to people. And Biden said the Border Patrol endorsed him. No, its union supported the border bill he supported, never endorsed him himself.
He goes through 6 days.
Just to provide the receipts that Biden was the liar. And believe me, if Trump had lied and lied and lied and lied and lied, like Pakman has claimed, like other people have claimed, CNN would have been doing a montage just like that of all of the Trump lies. Not one exists.
I suspect it was just an innocent mistake, but yes, the montage does in fact exist. I'm going to play it for you. It actually is from the same CNN bit. Like, basically that fact checker that we just saw calling out Joe Biden, well, he also goes on to call out Trump. And he has even more things to list off for Trump than he did for Biden.
And Biden said the Border Patrol endorsed him. No, its union supported the border bill he'd supported, never endorsed him himself. In fairness, the president did appear to clarify that one. Now, the Trump list, it is way, way longer. So deep breath. He said some Democratic states allow people to execute babies after birth, an egregious lie that is illegal in every state. He said everybody, even Democrats, wanted Roe v. Wade overturned. Roe was supported by 2/3 of Americans, even more Democrats. He said every legal scholar wanted Roe overturned, abortion returned to the states. Legal scholars have told me directly this is not true. He said the U.S. currently has the biggest budget deficit ever. No, that happened under Trump in 2020. He said the U.S. currently has a record trade deficit with China. That also happened under Trump in 2018. He said Biden personally gets a lot of money from China. Zero evidence of this. He said there were no terror attacks during his presidency. In fact, there were multiple attacks. He said Iran didn't fund Hamas, Hezbollah, other terror groups under his presidency. Iran, in fact, did. He said Biden wants to quadruple people's taxes. That is pure fiction. He said the U.S. has provided way more aid to Ukraine than Europe had. It's actually the opposite. He said the U.S. has provided about $200 billion in Ukraine aid. It's closer to $110 billion. He said 18 or 19 million people have crossed the border under Biden. That is millions too high. He said many of these migrants are from prisons or mental institutions. His own campaign cannot corroborate this. He said Biden has only created jobs for illegal immigrants. Total nonsense. He said Nancy Pelosi turned down his offer of 10,000 National Guard troops on January 6th. There's no evidence she even got such an offer. It was the president, not Pelosi, who had the power to deploy the D.C. Guard. He said Pelosi now acknowledges she turned down the troops. No, her office tells me this claim is still a lie. He said he deployed the National Guard to Minneapolis in 2020. Actually, that was the Democratic governor. He spoke of, quote, ridiculous fraud in the 2020 election. Zero evidence of any widespread fraud. He said NATO was going out of business before he took office. Completely, clearly absurd. He said the U.S. was paying 100% of NATO before he came along. The U.S. made up about 71% of NATO defense spending, not 100. He said he, not Biden, is the one who lowered insulin prices in Medicare. He did it for some seniors, but Biden did it for far more. He said Biden indicted him. Again, no evidence Biden has had a personal role in any of these 4 prosecutions. He said Europe takes no U.S. cars, just not true. He spoke of food prices quadrupling under Biden. That's a wild exaggeration, though they are up. He said Biden made up the idea he called dead service members suckers and losers. No, the Atlantic magazine reported that, and then former Trump Chief of Staff John Kelly corroborated it. He said Biden called black people, quote, super predators for 10 years. Biden never once deployed that phrase, let alone for 10 years, though he did at least once speak of, quote, predators without specifying it was about black people. He said his Trump tax cut was the largest in U.S. history. Not true, though, in fairness, Biden also said this. Trump said China and others stopped buying from Iran under him. China never stopped. He revived his pet lie, I don't know how many times I've done it, that he signed the Veterans Choice Program into law. Barack Obama did that in 2014. Trump signed an expanded version in 2018. And finally, Trump said Biden got rid of that Veterans Program. Biden has not done that.
So as you guys can see, Courageous Media was wrong. CNN did in fact have a fact-checking session for Donald Trump as well, and their fact-checker did in fact call him out on even more things than he called Joe Biden out on. That being said, I don't claim to know if the fact-checker was right about everything. I don't pay enough attention to Trump or Biden or all the evidence surrounding what I'm not in that world. I'm not particularly a Biden supporter. I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't plan on voting for either of these guys. We got to see the results of a Trump presidency. We're currently seeing the results of a Biden presidency. It hasn't been all bad. Both Biden and Trump did do some things right. But for the most part, it's been pretty bad. Both these guys are terrible presidents. In fact, I give an F to every single president we've had my entire life, regardless of whether we're talking the Democrats, the Republicans, one of the Bushes, Bill Clinton, Obama, Trump, Biden. At the end of each of these presidencies, there's still a bunch of stupid laws against completely victimless acts. There's still poverty, wage slavery, homelessness, taxation, inflation, cost of rent is still too damn high. Cost of buying a decent home, still too damn high. Cost of land for putting affordable housing onto is too damn high. The cost of this, so on and so forth, right? Bunch of stuff is too expensive. And our jobs aren't paying well enough. We don't have universal basic income. We don't seem to be moving in the direction of a resource-based economy. There's all sorts of problems that need to be dealt with. And these guys just keep refusing to solve these problems, right? We have these big, blatantly obvious, solvable problems that keep going unsolved. It's disgusting. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of shitty presidents. I wish the MAGA cult would quit pretending that Trump was so great. I wish blue MAGA, so to speak, would stop pretending Biden's so great. Even though Trump is the MAGA guy, I couldn't help but notice that under Joe Biden's presidency, we seem to descend even further into a MAGA-tarded theocratic dystopia with the overturn of Roe v. Wade, the abortion bans, what have you. Biden's acting like, oh, well, if you want to protect abortion rights, then re-elect me. Yeah, that worked out so well last time. Now, as far as I can tell, based on what evidence is available, we're just going to keep descending further and further into a MAGA-tarded theocratic dystopia, regardless of whether we get a Trump re-election or a Biden re-election. That's what it looks like to me. And so I'm going through life just very I have a glum outlook on the state of politics in this country and the direction that this country's headed. Things are looking pretty bad. We need to protest this election or something. But I digress. I guess we already served the purpose of this video. I just wanted to prove that guy was wrong. I'm just babbling at this point, so I'll just kindly fuck off now. You guys